and I'm glad that you're here. Welcome to Twig. What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Week in Geek, your weekly, geekly, family-friendly news show that tackles everything from Baldur's Gate to metaverse job interviews with some games and fun stuff in between. If you are listening on our podcast, be sure to give us a good review. Click that like on YouTube. Also, hi, YouTube. Or come and listen live on Twitch every Tuesday night at somewhere around 8 p.m. Eastern. We start the stream then. Who knows when it actually gets started. Folks, welcome to Season 2 of Twig. We are officially starting a new season of this. We changed the day that we actually stream this. We're hopefully going to be consistent with this and having new guests and all sorts of exciting stuff. At the very least, at the bare minimum, we are going to have your fill of weekly geekly news. All the stuff that you need to know about portrayed through the Checkpoint Church lens. So, as always, we're going to start this show off with our what did you watch, what did you read, what did you play this past weekend, what have you been up to? Let me know in the chat if you're live here on Twitch with us right now, or if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and drop down in the comments down below while you're watching. Let us know, what did you watch, what did you play, what did you read over the weekend? I, for some reason unbeknownst to me, have been watching through the entire Let's Play of Persona 5 by Weeby News. Weeby News is a YouTuber that I've followed for quite a while now, because she is so focused on Danganronpa, but she also has a Let's Play about 5 years ago of Persona 5, and I just decided that I missed that story and wanted to see her play it. And so here we are. I am now 41 parts and about 70 hours in to a Persona 5 playthrough. I don't understand myself, but I'm here. I finished reading Needless Street, and let me go ahead and tell you, that book is amazing. It's weird. It definitely is a little problematic of a twist. I think that there's a lot to say about some of the reveals in the book, but man, that last 25% of the book had me guessing, and absolutely just so good. I recommend reading it, even if you do not enjoy the ending. I think it's still worth experiencing. So I'd recommend reading that one, although do be prepared for a scary, gory, uncomfortable time with some slightly problematic story twists thrown in there. I am starting to read Six of Crows and making my way through it ever so slowly. I've also been playing Palia, which we'll be playing after this recording of Twig tonight. And I've also been playing Baldur's Gate 3. I finally hopped on the hype train. I feel like I have to play this game. I am about 5 or 6 hours in. It is okay, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish this game, or at least get as close as I can to finishing this game as my psyche will let me. But so far, I'm just kind of underwhelmed. I think I heard too much hype around it, and I'm hopeful that I'm able to push that hype to the side and just enjoy the game for what it is. There's no doubt in my mind it is a triumph of game design, and so I want to appreciate it for what it is. Christina says, playing Undertale and loving it. Perry has been watching Brotherhood and Soul Eater. Ooh, Soul Eater's so good. Those are like two of my favorite anime. Playing Undertale and reading Needless Street very slowly. For those of you that don't know, we're playing Undertale together this month as a video game club with the Button Bash Brigade. If you want to know more about that, then you can absolutely learn more on our Discord. Trombone is watching Mer People and Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey, and is also playing DDV and Ace Attorney. Which Ace Attorney are you playing right now, Trombone? I'd love to know more. Zando just wrapped up The Messenger. Perry says, I'm just not Nate is just not big on the TTRPG style video games, which is fine. There is definitely an element of that. I also think there's just something to hype culture, and it's troublesome. It's troublesome. Hype culture drives me crazy. So it is what it is, but I'm definitely down to keep going because I want to experience more. I'm trying not to rag on it too much because I don't want to, because I think it's very good, but I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm going to wait until I've experienced more of the game to fully flesh out those thoughts. Sneaky's playing Undertale and Baldur's Gate 3, reading Upgrade by Blake Crouch, and Trombone says the first one, recently bought the trilogy. Welcome to the best ride. You're in for such a great series. I love Ace Attorney, and I love whenever somebody gets to play it again for the first time. Although I guess you've already seen Bats play quite a bit of it, so you'll get to experience some more story and get to experience the decisions in your own way. Plus, that was so long ago that it's easy to forget some of the story beats. So love that. All right, we're going to get into some of the trending news today. Hopefully, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, this works. The first piece of news actually has to do with Baldur's Gate 3. So the release of Baldur's Gate 3 has generated immense enthusiasm with over 800,000 concurrent players at its peak. The success has led to discussions about whether its standards should be adopted by other RPGs in the future. While some, including BAFTA nominee Xavier Nelson, argue that it's unrealistic to expect all games to meet these high standards, the article that Nordic put out recently, Nordic IGN put out, argues in favor of raising consumer expectations. Using Baldur's Gate 3 as a prime example of a well-executed consumer-friendly game, the author criticizes current AAA game development practices, particularly around microtransactions and lack of resource allocation for gameplay enhancement. They also pointed out multiple instances where AAA titles failed to meet consumer expectations or were perceived as prioritizing profit over player experience. This article concludes by asserting that Baldur's Gate 3 serves as a shining example of how game development should prioritize both fans and game quality. So, all this is to say that it feels appropriate that I would happen to mention Baldur's Gate. I do think, again, this gets into the point that I think this game is too hyped. I do appreciate the attention that it's getting. That's something that we were kind of having discussed over on our Discord server, was like, thank goodness Larian is getting the praise that they deserve for this project. Although I do think that Divinity Original Sin 2 got a lot of clout. But I'm glad to see that they're getting kind of this like national acclaim that they deserve. I'm glad that the team was taken well care of. I'm glad to see the instances of microtransactions kind of being backed up on a little bit. I think that there's no doubt in my mind that this is a good thing and an exciting thing. And I do think that there is an argument to be made for raising expectations while also not raising expectations. It's a healthy balance in game design, and there's a lot of money put into this game that not everyone has, especially in the indie scene. And so it's kind of weird to have to expect to be like as good as the biggest game or as small as the smallest game. A good example and a good response to this was the person behind Citizen Sleeper weighed in on this. So if you want to read that response, I would recommend finding Citizen Sleeper on Twitter, or X, I guess now. And that I thought was a very, very good, detailed response to not every game has to be a AAA game. And sometimes they can be nominated on the same list that Baldur's Gate 3 is undoubtedly going to be nominated on and nearly win because of what they come up with. Citizen Sleeper was a pretty much one-man team. It's definitely a smaller gaming experience, in my opinion. The story is 10 times better, but the gameplay, no doubt, is much less than Baldur's Gate 3. So you've got this dance that you have to do between one game being excellent in some ways, one game being excellent in others, but both of them being excellent in their own ways to reach certain gamers. So it's a bizarre thing to be in, but we're in a good spot, I think, with Baldur's Gate succeeding as it has, and I hope that it does lead towards positive change in the gaming community and not becoming something where we all set our gates too high for other games to enter into. That's pretty much where I land, but I think that, yeah, anti-microtransactions is a good thing. Definitely anti-gambling in games with microtransactions is a good thing, but there's a lot to say and a lot that can be said, so feel free to let us know more about your thoughts as we transition to our next story, which is about Netflix. Netflix has unexpectedly released a Netflix game controller app on the iPhone and iPad App Store without any announcement. The app, upon downloading, prompts users to select a game on their TV, but doesn't provide any further information or details about compatible games. It is unclear how the mobile device connects to the TV, whether through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connectivity with a set-top box. When prompted about this surprise release, Netflix did not offer any comments. Notably, TechCrunch previously reported in October 2022 that Netflix's VP of Gaming, Mike Verdu, had hinted at the company's move towards a cloud gaming offering, but did not intend to replace traditional gaming consoles. Given that Netflix began publishing mobile games in 2021 with the ongoing entertainment industry strike, this move raises questions about Netflix's gaming strategy and the synchronization between smartphones and TV. I'm assuming, Perry, are you talking about this in particular, that a closed beta is now live for their game connection system, their controller? So maybe they have said a little bit more since the release of this article in particular. I'm curious about Netflix games. I know that we have several Netflix haters among us here at Checkpoint, and so it's kind of up in the air about whether this will succeed or not. I think if Amazon can't do it, then Netflix probably can't do it either. But maybe. They definitely have they have better games. I'll say this. Netflix has better games already than Amazon ever did. Amazon Luna, I really appreciated. I wanted it to work, but it was an absolute flop because they didn't have the games, and Netflix has already done a way better job. If you haven't played Lia's Horizon, man, that's a good game. Obviously, Oxenfree 2, that's a good game. These are big, good games that they're actually getting. So pretty big deal that Netflix is stepping into the game world in a way that actually feels somewhat adequate. So we'll see if they continue to do well, or if this is just kind of a last grasp, or if they've just had some lucky moves. Anything could really do with that. With that, we're going to move into our next story, which is the full recap of Pokemon Presents. We had a Pokemon Presents last week, so I'm going to go through these bullet points as quickly as I can. Pokemon Path to the Peak, a new animated series focused on the Pokemon trading card game, premiered at Worlds. Detective Pikachu returns, got a new trailer, introduced some of the characters and the gameplay, also announced the release date of October 6th, unsurprisingly coming to the Nintendo Switch exclusively. Pokemon Horizons, the series, is set in the Paldea region, however we have no release date, just coming soon. Pokemon Go will be introducing Paldea region Pokemon starting next month. Nintendo Switch Online got 2 additions. Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy. You never played that, it's real good. Pokemon Stadium 2, also real good for the N64. Both got added for Switch Online and expansion pack users. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did get updates of Mew, who is available via password until September 18th. Get your Mew. Mewtwo will be available in Terra Raids starting on September 1st. Pokemon Paldean Winds is an animated web series set in the Paldea region, airing on September 6th. If you have not caught up with the Pokemon web series, you really should do that because it's some of the best content Pokemon has made in years. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Teal Mask DLC, we got another look at that expansion pack, looking at some of the characters, looking at some of the Pokemon, including the starters that you can now get, and also, most excitingly to me, got a release date of September 13th. I'm very excited for September 13th. I have missed Scarlet and Violet, and I will look forward in diving back into those games some more. In related Pokemon news, Pokemon has also responded some about the sustainability of their frequent game release schedule, especially after the recent issues with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which faced criticism over technical problems. Nintendo had to officially apologize for these issues. The constant release strategy may be affecting the overall game quality and possibly the well-being of developers at Game Freak. While in the past few years, several Pokemon games have been released for the Nintendo Switch, COO of the Pokemon company, Takato Utsunomiya, expressed that there is an ongoing conversation about balancing this pace with ensuring the quality of the products. Despite its technical problems, Scarlet and Violet sold over 10 million copies in 3 days, becoming Nintendo's fastest-selling game. The only upcoming public release is the expansion for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I was first kind of bummed that at Pokemon Presents we didn't get an update about any upcoming games, but then upon reading this, I'm not surprised, and I'm kind of glad that we didn't get any kind of news about upcoming games, because it means not only are they kind of putting their money where their mouth is, but they're also starting to hopefully put a little bit more focus into the technical side of games. I personally didn't really notice that big of a deal with Scarlet and Violet. It didn't run too bad for me at all, but neither did Cyberpunk, and that obviously I was wrong there too. So I might just have a really low barrier of entry whenever it comes to tech concerns. As long as the game doesn't crash on me, I don't really care about clipping or anything like that. So it was a pretty good time, and I think it was a great game, and I hope that Pokemon just continues to move forward, and I know they will because it's Pokemon. They're not going anywhere. So if they're putting more effort into things, good. That's only going to be good in the long run for gamers. It's only going to be good in the long run for the team. So I think we're all around in the pros here, hopefully. Maybe this is even inspired a little bit by Baldur's Gate 3 and the team doing so good over there. With that, we're going to get into our next one, sort of related to Netflix. Disney is contemplating measures to restrict password sharing on its streaming platforms, mirroring some of the actions taken earlier in the year by Netflix. While mulling over these restrictions, Disney has decided to increase the subscription prices for Disney Plus and Hulu. Beginning October 12th, ad-free Disney Plus will cost $14, and the ad-free version of Hulu will cost $18. A new Duo Premium bundle for both D Plus and Hulu, ad-free, will be available at $20 per month starting September 6th. Replacing the older Trio Premium bundle, which included ESPN Plus, which I'm really glad about. I really like that they're taking ESPN out because I don't want ESPN, but I do want the bundle. The revamped Trio Premium will be priced at $25 a month. Disney CEO Bob Iger mentioned a significant number of users sharing passwords and hinted at initiatives to curtail such sharing by 2024. Despite the price hikes, Disney lost 2.7 million subscribers in recent months, largely due to Hotstar's termination. Meanwhile, Netflix's measures to limit account sharing resulted in a boost of daily account signups and added approximately 6 million subscribers. Investors view password sharing as a potential revenue stream. The streaming giants are also being criticized due to the ongoing WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, focusing on the decline of residuals and worker pay in the streaming age. So we continue to kind of have these distractions back and forth, but I'm glad to see that at least something is being done. And like I said, I like that bundle because I have both Disney Plus and Hulu, and why not save a little money on the side for that bundle? Next up, RIP Cortana. Microsoft's latest update for Windows 11 has removed the dedicated Cortana app. Furthermore, Microsoft has announced the cessation of Cortana support on Teams Mobile, Teams Display, and Teams Rooms later this year, but it will continue its support for Cortana in Outlook Mobile. Originally introduced in 2014 as a competitor to Siri, Cortana was designed for the Windows Phone. The virtual assistant was later integrated into Windows 10, mobile devices, and Xbox One. Over the last few years, Microsoft has been gradually discontinuing support for Cortana, removing it from platforms like the Xbox dashboard and from Android and iOS. Despite phasing out Cortana, Microsoft continues to focus on enhancing its AI capabilities, with a significant project being called Windows Copilot, a new AI-powered assistant. So, always sad to see kind of a legend go. I remember when they first announced Cortana, and I was pretty excited about the fact that we had, I thought, one of the better moves of naming your AI assistant after a video game character that you also coincidentally own. I thought that was a pretty cool move by Microsoft, but it didn't work, or they just decided to make the shift. I don't know why, but it's a fine decision. I thought it was fun while it lasted. And RIP, we will miss you, Cortana, although I absolutely have never used you on any of my Windows devices. Okay, now it is time for everybody's new favorite game and a test run for a video clip that we're going to find out if it works. Here we go.
Cryptic Critiques.
Okay, I have no idea if that worked, but this is Cryptic Critiques. So what this is going to be doing is this is going to be a game where I'm going to give you 3 prompts of a real life bad review that I have heard for a super popular video game. And by the time that we get to the 3rd prompt, you should see if you can get the game itself. If you can guess what the game is before I get to the 3rd prompt, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I will try my best to have a poker face and not let you know if you were correct, or you can just hold it in your head and we can let you know whenever all the prompts are done. So the first prompt, these are real life 1-star reviews for real life 5-star video games. The first one, this game has never and will never be fun, even at its apparent best. Okay, that's prompt 1. Notice those air quotes, very important. Prompt number 2, there is a dark secret that your children won't understand. The items are drugs. However, your child will never know this. That's prompt number 2. Definitely have a word substituted in there. Prompt number 3, the final prompt is, who cares? Who cares? Good luck guessing this one. No big giveaways there. The game has never and will never be fun, even at its apparent best. There is a dark secret that your children won't understand. The items are drugs. However, your child will never know this. And who cares? The answer, anybody got it? It is Super Mario Odyssey, supposedly the best in the Mario series, and obviously the items in the game. Mushrooms, apparently drugs. So there you go, Super Mario Odyssey. See if you got this one. Let me know if you did get it in the chat, or let me know down in the comment section down below. Those are real life 1-star reviews that Super Mario Odyssey has gotten online. I found them and made a little game out of it. Hope that you enjoyed that little segment of the show. With that, we're going to be going to the Discord. So we're going to be doing news that is submitted by you over in our Discord. Or if you are not interested in joining our Discord, you can submit news at any point in time to bit.ly/DearTwig, DEARTWIG. Submit your news there. Let me know what you would like for us to talk about here on the show. We have 2 this week, and the first one up is submitted by Perry Perspective, who is in the chat right now. First is about Valve refurbishing Steam Decks. Valve, a prominent video game developer and digital distribution company, has commenced sales of refurbished Steam Deck devices. The company assures customers that every refurbished handheld console has been rigorously tested and meets, if not surpasses, the performance criteria of brand new units. While these refurbished devices may show minor cosmetic imperfections, they guarantee a top-tier gaming experience at a more affordable price. The pricing for the refurbished models varies, starting at $319 for the 64GB version and increasing by $100 per disc size. Valve has also emphasized that refurbished units would come with a warranty and enjoy the same customer service as new models. Unfortunately, they're all sold out as of the time of this recording. According to an Omdia report from April, the Steam Deck's lifetime sales for 2023 are projected to surpass 3 million units, and no doubt this refurbished effort is going to be another thing leading that forward. If you have not gotten a Steam Deck, you're not going to get one from the refurbishment right now, but maybe in the next couple weeks they'll relaunch and do some more refurbished decks. I love my Steam Deck. I think it is a fantastic device. I do not regret it for a minute. It was too expensive, that's for sure, but hoo boy, was it worth it. Whenever you really consider what you're getting in the sense of like you're getting a Linux computer, you're just getting a computer, then it doesn't feel quite as expensive if you look at it that way. But most of us just don't have another computer money. So it's understandable, and I hope they'll continue to refurbish and maybe even come up with more affordable versions. A Switch Lite, if you will, but for Steam Decks, that would be nice. We'll see if that happens. I'm not holding my breath, but at the very least, they'll probably restock this refurbish in the next couple months, if not sooner, and maybe you can get your hand on one then. Next up, another one from Perspective about Roblox job apps. Roblox Corporation, the entity behind the globally popular free-to-play online game Roblox, has announced plans to start interviewing potential employees within its virtual game environment. The company unveiled its new Roblox Career Center in-game on August 10th, an area designed to give early career candidates a glimpse of life at Roblox. The center features an innovation lab, a podcast lounge where the company's tech talk show is hosted, and the library, a collection of reading materials for potential employees. Roblox contends that the in-game career center is intended for candidates, many of whom have grown up playing the game and may feel more at ease interviewing within it. However, the idea of conducting job interviews within the game has been met with skepticism, with concerns about it being both bizarre and potentially predatory. You know, I have no stake in Roblox at all. I have no opinion on Roblox, but I think that metaversal job interviews make so much sense. We're already interviewing people on Zoom, right? I mean, we're already doing this kind of thing. I don't think there's any big to do about this. I don't think we need to make any bigger deal in it than is already being made. I think that odds are it shouldn't be taken too seriously, but also it's probably going to be just fine. We'll see if they stick with it. That's honestly the bigger thing for me, is if they actually use this, or if this is just kind of a flash in the pan, like, hey, look, Roblox is hiring, and that's all this article ultimately comes down to, is just letting people know that Roblox hires people, because I didn't know that. Did you know you could go work for Roblox? I would have never thought. I mean, I guess, sure, but I wouldn't have considered that as a job option, and now it's on the table, not for me, but maybe for you. So there you go, Roblox interviewing people in the metaverse. Who could say where this will go next? So that has been our To the Discord segment of the show, bit.ly/DearTwig, DEARTWIG, or just go to our Discord, !Discord, or linked down below, and you can get access to all of that. We ask every single Monday over on our Ask Questions, Get Answers. You can post all the news that you've heard about, news that you care about, and we'll be sure to siphon that into the show. With that, it is time for everybody's true favorite part of the show.
At this point in history.
That's right. It is at this point in nerd history, talking about all the things that were released on this day throughout time and space. August 15th, throughout time and space, what games, TV, movies, and one random little fun fact that is thrown in there for you. So we'll start with games this time. Not actually too many in general this week in particular, this day in time in particular. One that I threw in there just for kicks and giggles because we actually played this game on stream. But last year, Fashion Police Squad came out on August 15th, 2023. You may remember that was the game where we were literally like shooting a gun of clothes at people. Some of you may remember that. I don't remember exactly what the plot of that story was, but we did play Fashion Police Squad, and it did come out last year on this day. In 1991, Ninja Gaiden was released in the UK. 1987, we had two classic NES games released in different countries. In the US, Metroid was released, and Duck Hunt was released in the UK. So two pretty big titles there released on the same day. On TV news, 1948, August 15th, CBS aired the first ever nightly news broadcast with Douglas Edwards. So go figure, nightly news has been around since then. Movies released back in 2008, Star Wars Clone Wars was released on August 15th. Freddy vs. Jason was released in 2003 on this day. And then a huge Hallmark movie of our time in 1939, The Wizard of Oz, premiered in Hollywood tonight, August 15th. of 1939. And then back in 2001, a random bit of space news for you. The first solar system outside of our own was discovered and seen in 2001. So a pretty good year. 2001 Space Odyssey, right? We know 2001. Pretty weird those two things happen in the same year. Coincidence? Who could say? So that has been, I wonder if we should play this again.
At this point in nerd history.
Okay, and now we're going to go into our penultimate segment of the show here, which is, maybe we won't do this transition because this feels a little clunky, but it is. That's right, time for our upcoming releases. What is coming out in the next week in movies, comics, and video games and more. These are just some of the things happening over the course of the next week. We'll start with movies. So coming out the 18th. The 18th, AMC Plus is getting a movie called Bad Things. Shudder is getting a movie called Birth and Rebirth. Blue Beetle, the superhero movie, the DC superhero movie, is coming out on the 18th. I'm very excited about that. Landscape with an Evil Hand. I think it's a new stop motion, maybe, coming out on the 18th. Disney Plus is getting a new Lego Disney Princess movie, The Castle Quest. I only know that because of my daughter. Snoopy Presents One of a Kind Marcy is coming to Apple. And then Strays is coming on the 18th. And Netflix is getting The Monkey King. I love Journey to the West. I don't know if it's going to be an adaptation of Journey to the West, but maybe. I definitely know that Monkey King is one of the most influential characters of that series. So either it'll just be a cool little reimagining of his story, or maybe it'll be Journey to the West on Netflix. Either way, I'll check it out and let you know. Comics, there is a trilogy wrapping up. I don't know the trilogy well, but if you do, then you might know the name of the latest and the final entry coming out today, Loth's Warrior. I don't know anything about that, but if you know comics, that is dropping today. Games that came out today, the 15th of August. Cantata is a new TRPG. Emergency, which is appropriately a rescue sim. Hammerwatch 2 is a new ARPG. Moving Out 2, if you like the original Moving Out. Neko Journey is a new action adventure, I'm assuming, with cats. Coming out tomorrow, we have City of Murals, which is a roguelite action platformer. Construction Machine Simulator 2023. I think we can all put together in our minds what that game must be. On Guard, I believe, is officially coming out of alpha and releasing maybe tomorrow. The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is an adventure game coming out tomorrow. On the 17th, a game that I'm very weirdly excited about, Affogato. Maybe it's just because I love an Affogato, but it is a card battler RPG that is coffee themed. I don't know. I like coffee. Why not? I'll try Affogato. Book of Hours is a combat-free RPG coming out, maybe an Undertale-like. Chrome Wolf is a tank ARPG. Madden NFL 24. Marble It Up Ultra, the re-release of Marble It Up, which I actually knew the announcer for the original game. Quantum Recharged, Atari game remaster. So some of you may have played Quantum on the old Atari system. It has been remastered or recharged, if you will, and it'll be releasing on the 17th. Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew, a stealth strategy game, also releasing on the 17th. Coming out on the 18th, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is a extreme action game. It actually describes itself in that way, an extreme action game. Cats Cosmic Atlas is a casual point and click coming out on the 18th. Kingdoms Merge and Build is a new phone game, another merger. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm assuming a Dead by Daylight clone, also coming out on the 18th. And then on the 21st, only one game, D-Powerball Party Platformer. We'll see. D-Powerball looks like just another of those party platforming games. Maybe it'll be fun. Maybe it won't. DLC. We also have 2 DLC coming out. Let's Build a Zoo, if you ever played that game, is coming out with a new DLC called Aquarium Odyssey. And then if you play the game Amid Evil, The Black Labyrinth is a new DLC being released for that as well. With that, it is time to get into our real final segment of the show, which is, of course, that's right, it's time for our meme of the week, and our meme of the week this time is, I hope that this is here. It is, yay! All right, I still got it, I will figure it out. This is one that was submitted by myself, a password checker, the new password, Samson. That is a weak password. However, Samson with hair, that is a strong password. Now, is it because of the exclamation point? No, it's because Samson with hair is, of course, just very, very strong. I was very appreciative to be our winner of Meme of the Week this week. Always appreciate whatever folks appreciate a good Christian meme. Always fun stuff. So with that, we are going to wrap up the Week in Geek. This has been Twig, your weekly geeky family-friendly news show, delivered live on twitch.tv/checkpointchurch. each week, keeping your family connected to the world of geek and nerd news. If you watched this far, then you likely enjoyed this one. So remember to give us a 5-star on your favorite podcast app. Click that like button, by the way, by YouTube, and recommend the show to your favorite nerds. We're going to see how loud this song is. It looks too loud already. With that, we're going to close the show with the 3 things we lead you to about every single one of you out there. Number 1, that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here. And number 3, that you, yes, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, until the next time that I see you, whether it be next week for another episode of The Weekend Geek, or whether it be here on this Tuesday night stream, or wherever it may be, I look forward to seeing you then.